Shame on Andrew Holness. 500 people comment. Shame. 200 likes on this video. What is poor people going to do? The Cuban medical policy has ended. Watch this.
I realize that there has been a termination of the program by attrition over the last few years, where contracts were not renewed and Cuban doctors and nurses who went back were never replaced. I don't know if it was understood that we would have reached this point, but have you done a gap analysis to say what are the needs right now? I think you have just under 300 doctors, nurses, biomedical engineers. I'm particularly concerned about the Cuban eye care program, which does more cataract surgery, I believe, than all public hospitals combined island-wide, and is the main source of eye care for Jamaicans who can't afford to go privately and pay the $500,000 for a cataract surgery. What are your plans for filling the gaps in the underserved areas, the community centers, the hospitals where no Jamaicans want to go for social reasons, and we fill them with Cubans? What is going to happen to staffing in those areas now?
Okay, so the first thing I want to say is that your opening statement is incorrect. The Cubans are still with us. We have over 280 approximately, and they're still at their post, still working, including the eye care program. So it's a little exaggeration to say that. We are coming from about just under 350, and that the decline has started over the last
It is a dark day for Jamaica.
6-8 months,
A very dark
based
day.
on the expiration of those work permits, based on the agreements we had originally for those persons. We have persons here who still have some time. I know what you're referencing. You're referencing the MOU with the Cuban government, which is a very different thing. And that has been the tradition, to negotiate an MOU, which then leads to the engagement of the Cuban healthcare workers. That negotiation, as said in a release today, has been in discussions without an agreement for just under a year. The last point was that the
Welcome. 500 people coming shame. What will poor people do now? Donald Trump has
responded.
won. And I could have told you that this was going to happen. Last year, Marco Rubio came to Jamaica for the very same reason.
Having had
the Cuban medical policy, after 50 years, has now ended under the Andrew Holness government.
Health workers who are here
50 years
have an opportunity,
has now ended.
if they so desire,
as we speak,
to engage
Cuban nurses and doctors are heading home. You're leaving Jamaica by the dozen.
It's not
Approximately over 300 employees are beneficiaries that came from Cuba to assist Jamaica. You're now leaving. We are currently now down to 200 and something. You just hear a while ago. Okay? Trump has won. Do as we say or you are in trouble, is what it appears to be. You understand? Coming up in this report, everybody, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Shame! 500 people comment. Shame! Shame! Years worth of government, years worth of negotiations by Cuba has now left. 50 years of negotiations with the Cuban medical policy ended, and I will talk about it. Let me not forget to tell you that today is Protection Fridays, everybody, and Virtual TV wishes you protection in all your endeavors for the rest of the day. It is a dark day for Jamaica, everybody. Now, when this situation originally presented itself, the Prime Minister of Barbados, I don't remember her name, but you can call her name for me there, right? She said that she was willing to surrender her travel documents of not being able to travel to the United States because she would have not let her country separate from the Cuban medical policy. You understand? And she said that that is her stance. She supported the Cuban medical policy because it was doing great and wonders for the Barbadian people. Fast forward to now, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has now decided to end the Cuban medical policy. Once again, the term that was used to describe him initially, he's now called a spineless coward. Well, let us continue. Okay? Yes. Almost 50 years, over 50 years, Jamaica to end the 50-year-old medical program with Cuba. Let us continue. No, Jamaica has discontinued its cooperations with Cuba. The foreign minister or the ministry has announced yesterday the move to end the 5-decade relationship which healthcare workers from the communist nation filled the key gaps in the local system. Now, this comes as both governments are unable to agree on terms and conditions of a new technical cooperation agreement following the expiration of the previous agreement in February 2023, the Kamina Johnson-led ministry said in a statement. Now, according to them, they said that it is sad the government of Jamaica has taken the decision to discontinue the current arrangement concerning the deployment of professionals from Cuba in the health sector by the government of Cuba. It is now ending. Now, let me tell you what I think happened. Marco Rubio come to Jamaica. Them try whatever means to keep the policy. Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, lay it out on the table. Say, if we allow you to keep the policy, this will be what you need to do. This is what you need to tell them. This is what needs to happen. And Holness and Jamaica, if you can't tell them this will happen, this is going to happen, and this is what we need to see, then you cannot continue. So then lay it out to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who is the spineless coward described last year, and they presented the agreement in an MOU, which is the Memorandum of Understanding. When they presented the agreement on how they think Cuba should move in this MOU, Cuba rejected it. So even though now the US have come out and say they did not influence it, that is a damn lie. We don't fool. Jamaica's decision, right, comes as the United States intensify economic pressure on them and forces long-standing partnerships to revisit their relationship with island nation. Now, Washington has also accused them, overseas medical missions, of constituting forced labor and other things in an allegations which the island has rejected by its leaders. Now, in its statement, the foreign ministry said the Cuban medical professional is currently in Jamaica, may be engaged in individually for a remainder of their scheduled tenure in keeping with the country's labor laws. It done. So just the remainder time now. So let's say that 6 months left on the MOU or the contract or the paperwork or whatever they may be. After that 6 months, I'm just giving you a general number for example. Then every one of them have to go pack up and left. Now, in the interest of continuity of the valuable service provided by the Cuban medical professionals present in the country of the personal certainty and well-being, the government of Jamaica has indicated its willingness for the Ministry of Health and Wellness to engage these medical professionals on an individual basis in keeping with the local labor laws. So what they're saying is this: we know them valuable. Cuba has some of the best professionals in the world in that field. So here what we are going to do, we are going to give you one independent contract which will allow you to stay and work. But because of what we are now with the US and Cuba, because Cuba provide that policy, we cannot allow the policy under Cuba to continue because of what we grandfather and we daddy said, which is Trump. Weak, coward, and spineless is what the Prime Minister has been described as. 200 likes on this video. Shame! 500 people comment shame. Shame, shame, shame. 500 people comment shame for the people. We have more to come. Stay tuned inside the Protection Fridays. Like and share the video. Don't go away. I will be back with more.